Thank you for joining the webinar today. Today is the 7th webinar of this year already, and we will be talking about how to make money on SSL. Today I will be here as usual. I'm Iris van Ommeren, Country Manager of the Netherlands. And today I've also taken two of my colleagues in to help me on this webinar, and these are Marielle Hoordijk. Marielle is our Customer Success Manager, and she is most of all our consolidation expert. And we have Simon Roorda, our product developer from the domain part, but he also takes care of our customers with regards to the SSL automation part. Then I would like to take a look at the agenda for this webinar. Today I will do a short introduction on the SSL white paper, why we started doing this. We will go through the white paper on the commercial part with some questions and answer possibility. And then we will continue with the technical part, that's Simon's part. And then we will go to the roadmap and the next steps. So first, let me tell you a little bit more about the white paper and why we are focusing on SSL and getting our customers more successful. Actually, the story is that Openprovider has a long time experience on the do's and don'ts of SSL. In several years, we have seen companies struggle and even lose money, especially on the manual processes with regards to SSL. But what we also have seen is that quite some companies make a real cash cow out of SSL. So in the last few years, we have actually learned a lot of lessons, and we thought like, hey, why wouldn't we make it possible to let everybody benefit from these lessons that we've learned? So if we look at the do's of the SSL and being successful, it actually comes down to the full automation of DV certificates. And full automation of DV certificates, I mean ordering from the ordering part with us, for example, to the implementation part at the customer side. And besides that, the automation, we also really require that you have the right commercial approach, because if this misses, and the customer is not aware of what you offer, then it will not be a success. So these two things like automation and commercial part are the basis of the SSL white paper. This is what we have created from where we want to help our customers grow and be more successful on SSL. And my colleagues will tell you some more about the commercial and the technical part in a moment. It's also good to tell you a little bit on the project that we are doing at this moment regarding to SSL validation in-house, what we are working on. And in 2016, next year, we will be able to offer this ourselves, which will give you all a huge benefit, especially on the upsell and cross-sell part of SSL. So this time, again, we want to focus on DV and full automation of it. And the planning is also for next year to have a new white paper once everybody has implemented DV to do some more on upsell and cross-sell. And in combination with the in-house validation, this can bring even more success. What I should mention is that this is quite new for us, also the white paper, so we are now introducing it to everybody. We are fully on top of the automation part between us and our resellers. But on the part from our resellers, from you guys towards the end users, it's for us also a learning process. So in the end of this presentation, and Simon will also tell some more about it, we would also really appreciate your input on this part, so we could also learn from you guys. So that's about the white paper, what we do, and yeah, it would be interesting to take a look at the earnings. Because this is why we want to start to begin with. We want to make some money, all of us. And yeah, what if you could secure every customer's domain for just $19.95 per year? If you take a look at what the earnings will be, the margin and the profit you will make on, for example, 1,000 domains, that could be more than $15,000. If you have 5,000 domains, you go already to almost $80,000, and with 10,000 domains, yeah, you will reach 159,000 extra profits. This is something to be thinking of because, yeah, it's quite interesting to start earning real money with SSL. And this is when you have the Supreme deal, I have to say. If you don't have the Supreme deal yet, or have different packages, it's also, of course, really good to make some money here. And we have an example based on tier 8 with a selling price of $24.95 per year. And then you will also reach an extra profit of $15,000 when you have sold SSL DV for 1,000 of domains. For 5,000 domains, it's already 75,000 extra profit per year, and for 10,000 domains, it's 150. So good to be aware of the profit that is out there by only simply implementing DV and doing some commercial stuff around it. Okay, then thank you. I would like to give the word to Marielle. She will tell you some more on the commercial part of the whole process.
Okay, well, thank you, Ines. We will start with the basics. Of course, the first point is secure your own website. It sounds like common sense, but you will be surprised how many providers don't have their own site secured. In order to start your SSL sales, you need to make sure that your own site is secured, preferably with an EV certificate, so your browser will be green when customers visit your own website. The second point is to make a selection. Choose the certificates you would like to work with. Make sure to offer a variety in brands and validation types, but do not overwhelm the potential customer. Multiple brands offer multiple certificates, which roughly all do the same. You don't want to confuse your customers with too many choices, names or types, which can cause that they don't know what to order anymore. And when your customers get confused, they will postpone the purchase, which can result in no purchase at all. So select only 1 or 2 certificates per validation type and just promote these. For example, maybe take a more expensive SSL certificate from a well-known brand and maybe a less expensive certificate from a less known brand, so your customers have something to choose from. Also communicate which are the differences in both certificates, like maybe the difference in a warranty value or a difference in delivery time. The third point is to provide information. Well, of course, it's necessary to provide all information on your website. A lot of providers offer this as an added service or an added product, but be sure to promote it as a core product on your website. The page must be easy to find and clearly mention the benefits of SSL. Think about the ranking in Google, for example, or the importance when you deal with customer information or payment information. But also mention that this helps your customer to increase your sales or to increase their sales, because people must trust their website, and if they want to order a product or start a payment or send information, they need to be confident that the page is secure. Implement an SSL wizard. Of course, you will always need text on your website, but many customers will be looking for some custom advice or custom guidance. To direct your customer to the right type of SSL certificate, you can choose to implement an SSL wizard on your SSL page. This helps your customer in choosing the right certificate in just a few simple steps. It also helps to lower your support pressure. Openprovider can provide you with a free white label wizard which can be implemented on your own website. Optimize order process. It can also help to add the SSL certificate purchase in your order process. This is the moment that your customer is in a buying mode and has your attention. So, for example, if they are in your control panel and they want to buy a domain or a hosting package, offer it at the same time. So they are in the buying mode and they already are spending money. So this is the perfect opportunity to also communicate the opportunity to add SSL to the purchase. Make sure that this upsell is as easy and clear as possible. Give the right triggers to stimulate the customer to buy, and try to make this order process as simple as possible. For instance, for only, let's say, 25 euros, you can get your domain name secured and attract more customers by providing trust. Perhaps you can also communicate your price per month. Maybe you also provide your hosting packages also per month, so it sounds less expensive than a yearly price. If you would like some more information about the reasons why to buy SSL, we also provide these texts which you can use on your website or in newsletters or in your control panel. Bundling. Offer as a bundle. Offering bundles with SSL certificates and domain names are also a good way of promoting SSLs. You can make a bundle for your hosting package, a few domains, maybe also include some new GTLDs, and add an SSL certificate in the same bundle for example, with a promotion price. Direct mailings. When all the information is online, it is time to communicate and promote the SSL certificates. Your customers need to know how they can benefit from having SSL on their website. We have learned that direct mailings to existing customers can work the best. You can divide all your existing customers into groups. For example, we know that sales can occur or will occur from your mailings you are going to send. So it will be much better to handle with much more care when you split your customer base into smaller groups. This way you can send the mailing to a small group of your customers and carefully handle the requests and questions you will get from it. For example, take a group of maybe 100 customers every week, send them an email, and you can repeat this every month. So you have the full attention for every customer group you're going to send the mailing to when they have questions or when they are ordering the SSL certificates. It's important to trigger your customers. So create a mailing where you make sure to trigger your customers and tell them about the benefits they will get from having SSL on their website. To simplify the sale, add a one-click buy option in the mailing. Just add a button, which can also be in a newsletter or in a console or control panel, and after the SSL is confirmed, immediately install the SSL certificate and ready to use. How to implement this button in your newsletter or control panel will be later explained by Simon. Use social media. Make sure communication is done also via social media as well. Promotion and SSL news can be sent out via this channel. It's very easy and very cheap, of course. Attract followers by keeping it interesting and sending out information regularly. For example, send out news that might help them grow their business. Special promotions. It's also interesting to give your customer special promotions. For example, we have some tips here which you can offer your customers, which we also offer you. The EV upgrade. If your customers order a domain, DV or an OV certificate, you can upgrade for free to an EV SSL certificate. This is, for example, offered by Komodo. Multi-year discounts. All providers offer multi-year discounts, so it's very interesting to also offer this to your customers. And of course, it's easier to make the sales this year, and you already have this customer in for the next coming 2 or 3 years. The last point, 30 days trial. Every certificate has a 30 days trial period. So if you, for instance, ordered the wrong certificate, you can always cancel it and maybe order a new one. But it is also very useful for your customers to just let them try an SSL for 30 days. And if they are not happy with the results, you can always say, well, I can give you your money back if you are not satisfied. Renewal strategy. When you have your SSL sales up, it's important to make sure that renewals will take place, so you will benefit from recurring billing year after year. Renewal mailings will help in this way. When you inform your customers 30 days or 20 days or even 10 days before the expiration date of their active SSL certificate, you will make sure that the customer is aware that the certificate is ending and has enough time to renew it. If you have the resources to call your customers, it will be very efficient to contact the customer every time an SSL certificate needs to be renewed within 1 month. This stimulates the customer to renew on time, and it is a perfect opportunity to increase upsell to other validation types, like from DV to OV or from OV or DV to even better, EV. Or you can also do this the other way around. You can already renew the SSL certificate 1 month before the expiration date and inform your customer. Most customers appreciate this proactive assistance. And if for some reason they did not want the renewal, you still have 30 days to cancel the SSL certificate. What may trigger extra sales is to create an order now or a renewal button. For instance, in an automatic sales process, in a newsletter, or an automatic mailing they will receive. This will save the customer time and frustration, and to make sure that the certificate will be automatically renewed. Because, let's be honest, finding a new customer is a lot harder than keeping your existing customers from whom you already have a connection. How this process works can be explained by my colleague Simon in the last part.
Now, welcome everybody, and thanks Marielle for the commercial part. It's up to me to provide you with a workflow on the technical part, on the implementation level. And the key point in full automation is SNI. I think most of you will know better what it is than I do. It stands for Server Name Indication, and that means that where in the past you needed an IP address for every website to secure, because the connection was built upon the IP address rather than the domain name, SNI allows you to combine several domain names under one IP address and even then secure them, because the domain name itself is part of the handshake process, of the validation process, which is done before any content is exchanged. SNI is supported by many web service software and browsers right now. There are still some very old legacy browsers which don't support it. But although I don't have numbers, I think more than 99% of your customer base will be able to access a secure site over SNI. More details about that, we will share you with a link to the knowledge base after this webinar. Will be placed over there, and you can read what you can do on your own web server according to this and how to set it up. Once set up, you can secure unlimited domains under just one IP address, and that is the basics for the automation process that we have in place. In the next steps, and this one might look a little bit overwhelming, I quickly skip it and point every point together. Every point itself will be explained in the next slides. But you see, with just, between quotes, just 10 steps, you can fully automate an order process and let your customers easily get an upsell in your system, so earning the money that Iris told you about in the first slides. First step. Sounds a little bit obvious, but you need to define which domains can be secured by you in this process. As you will learn further in this presentation, the DNS or the hosting must be controlled by you. Otherwise, we cannot automate the validation process. Of course, also take care of already secured domains. You don't need to push them to do a DV. If they now have an EV, you don't want them to downsell to a DV certificate. This domain definition is something you really need to do yourself. Check your system, which are the domains in my DNS or with my hosting, which don't have any certificate yet. Next step is, in fact, a commercial step. You need to compose your email and send it to your customers in the way that Marielle quickly described, as simple as possible. They need to understand, they need to learn why they need their certificate, why they need to secure their website. And for setting up this mailing, we also have a couple of templates, or will publish them in our knowledge base in a couple of coming days. Good thing about most mailing list software is that you can include customized data, like customized order links. You can, if the customer clicks a link, you can already forward him to a page that is for his domain with his username, for example. We will explain that later on. Once you click the link, then the actual order must be placed. And don't make it too hard for the customer. Be clear about what you offer, as little steps as possible, and then the customer is most likely to place the order with you. According to us, we think that the crucial elements in this order process is the authentication of the customer. So he needs to log in somewhere to confirm that he is the one he claims to be, the confirmation of the order, and the actual payment. I say this because technically it's possible to immediately order after clicking, but somebody else could have clicked the button as well, and it's your customer who is paying. So pay a little bit attention to what you are, to how easy you make it. Not too easy. That might be a risk as well. Next step, now we come to the technical part, is the creation of the public and private key pair of your certificate. In the Openprovider order, you need the CSR, the certificate signing requests, which includes the public part of that key. The private part is stored on your server securely. Ideally, we will never know what it is, because that is the foundation of security. Our knowledge base explains, and the white paper as well, how to do it in an automatic way. For example, if you use OpenSSL, just one command and both keys roll out of it automatically. Having done that, we get to a relatively new feature of certificate ordering. I think all of you are aware of the email validation, which means that as soon as you order a certificate, you need to choose an email address linked to the domain name, which could be in the whois or some admin at domainname.nl. But we also provide DNS or file-based validation. DNS means that you place a special CNAME record in the DNS in the DNS zone of that domain. That contains a hash of your CSR, a hash of another value, and Comodo or Symantec can check it. They see if that CNAME is available in the domain configuration, then we trust that you indeed have access to the domain name. So we confirm it and we validate the order. And within a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, the certificate is issued and sent to you. If you don't control a DNS, but you do control a hosting, you also can place a simple file, text file, in the root of your domain. So that could be something like yourdomain.com/secretcode.comodo.txt, for example. For the same reason as for the DNS, the CA knows that you control the domain name and takes that as sufficient proof and validates the order and sends it to you. I do not have any examples of these here. They are in a white paper, so if you want to see some more details, let us know in the Q&A at the end of this session and we can share them with you. At this point, you have prepared everything. You have the key, you have the CSR, you have prepared the validation. And at that moment, you can use our API to order your certificate at the Openprovider. Also, one simple command for those who already have implemented our API. It will not come with any surprises. But of course, the white paper contains a detailed example of this order command. And because it's domain validated and the validation has been prepared, within a couple of minutes, Openprovider will send you the certificate. If you want to control the retrieval yourself, you can also check the status via our API. For example, every 10 minutes, we poll the CA every 10 minutes for updates. So it makes no sense to do it more often than once every 10 minutes. Then you have it in control. As soon as the status is active, you can find the certificate itself and intermediates in the output of the API command. And with that information, you can start the installation on your server. This is a part which very much depends on the server you use. We have Apache, we have Nginx, we have Windows, Apple even, all kinds of servers which have all different kinds of installation processes. Our knowledge base will contain a couple of them. If you have experience with one of them and want to share that information, you are more than welcome. After installation, could be very useful to automatically redirect on the server level the unsecured domain to the secured domain. So everybody pointing to http://domain.com redirects automatically to the https://domain.com. That way the customer does not have to do any change himself. After that, inform the customer everything is ready and you will have a happy customer. Continuing Mariella's note that a renewal is the easiest way to create money, be sure to implement a renewal process. If possible, as automated as the order process. A renewal is just a new order, so you can follow the same order from the CSR generation step in the order process up to the installation and customer information again. It can be fully automated. Just be sure that your customer agrees to that order either before renewing it, an explicit order, or after renewing it, taking care of the 30 days free refund period. That was in a very short nutshell the technical process. What you can do from selecting the names through composing your mailing list, through preparing it on your server, ordering the certificate, and installing it, until the renewal process and the after sales. So I'm curious if there are any questions right now about that. I see a question coming here. Is it possible to have some technical help with the first implementations? Yes, absolutely yes. As long as you provide the system engineering part of the knowledge, we are able to assist you in all other parts of the process. We certainly want to cooperate with you to roll out a successful project in this. So if you are open to that, don't hesitate to contact us about that. And I think this is a great bridge to the last slide we have. What are the next steps? This is what we heard from our customers, a very unknown area. Most customers don't even sell SSL, or maybe only if they are forced by their customer to do so. So we hope with the white paper to present you some global view what it is. And now it's up to us and up to you to see how we can make it successful together. There is another question coming in from Yuri. Do you guys prefer a specific type of SSL for just a simple website and a specific one for web shops? And do you prefer a specific brand? The process which we have described applies only to domain validated certificates. For the simple reason that the validation can be fully automated. If we want to sell hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands certificates, you don't want to be involved in the manual process of organization of extended validation. Of course, you want that upsell, but this is aimed at bulk ordering. Your customers, which would otherwise maybe not have bought an SSL, they can now buy one for a very low price in a very fast way.
But I have to add some information to this. We are now talking about DV automation, but of course your specific question, what we would advise for web shops and for simple websites, if it's really a web shop, a commercial website, then we would always recommend to do EV. You also have the cheaper ones, EV from Komodo, for example. But if you really want to put it commercially and want to attract more customers towards your website, which is the case at a web shop, then we would always recommend to do EV.
In fact, the order process is not, the workflow which has been sketched is not different for OV and EV. It's just that this step that you see on the screen now, the retrieval of the certificate, will take some longer. An DV certificate is issued within seconds with the correct preparation. But an OV or EV takes calls from the CA to the requester, and an EV requires documents to be sent in and validated. So you may want to check the status not for just 10 minutes, but maybe for a couple of days. But after that, you get a certificate and you can order it. You can install it exactly the way you did before.
And of course, EV brings more money, and if
Yeah.
you have the renewal process in place, then you will also get the recurring billing out of it. So we would also suggest always to do EV with a web shop. But as said also in the beginning, it's more easy to start automatization with DV, get as much of the customers hooked on DV, and then start the upsell process.
It's all about volumes. If you can upsell 10% over your DV, you have 10 certificates, great, you have 1 upsell. If you have 1,000 certificates ordered, it's 100 upsells. And you are free to set your own price, but the market can be pretty high compared to the market.
Yeah, well, again, I would like to invite you to get in contact with us and to have a good conversation on what to do and how we can help you grow. What you can do yourself, what we can do, how we can help on commercial material, how we can help in the technical part, like the question of Yuri. So again, please be welcome. Feel free to contact us via sales, and we will be very likely to help you. So with this, I would also like to end the webinar of today. I hope this was all clear for you. If there will be any questions left, then we will also like to hear from you, and we will welcome you on the next webinar.